One of my favorite poets, Hafiz, writes this: I have come into the world to see this, the sword drop from men's hands, even at the height of their arc of rage, because we have finally realized there is just one flesh we can wound. I have come into the world to see this. And so he really talks about one flesh, one body, one union, one community of cherished belonging. That's the hope of Homeboy Industries. So the world might draw lines, we want to erase them. And that's kind of what we're about. So I was at a cemetery doing, kind of the final commendation, this was last week, of a body. And so I did my thing and blessed the body. And then it was time for the dove guy, the one who brings the doves. And I always kind of cut out on the dove guy just because, I don't know, maybe it's the syrupy theology preaching or whatever. So I kind of start to walk around and going to my car. So I'm near my car, and there are these three older homies that I've known since they were little 10-year-old mocositos in the projects. And the homies are always kind of on the furthest edges of these events because they're not close to the gathered mourners. And so there we were, the four of us, and we were talking. And one of us remembered a time when this homie was given the charge to do the dove thing. And he was supposed to go pay to have that done. But he wanted to save some money. So he and some homies in the projects filled this big old box and punched holes in it and put a bunch of project pigeons in the box, and he had maybe like 20 of them, and then he loosely taped it, and when we got to the cemetery, he opened it, and it was like a couple of them just literally flew into a rage and attacked some women's hair Alfred Hitchcock. You can Google to behead them. And then and a couple of them just popped out of the box and sort of walked around. A couple just stayed in the box because they kind of liked it just fine. Anyway, the four of us, we were howling with laughter and trying to stifle our laughter as the actual dove guy was letting loose the doves. And I said, well, okay, I'm out of here. So I turned around and I saw something. And I nudged the homie standing next to me, and he elbowed the homie next to him, and that guy nudged the fourth guy. And so all four of us are staring at the same thing. And just across the road from us, on a little small hill, standing all by himself in front of the mausoleum where they bury people in the wall, was a tattooed gang member, and he's wearing a cap and gown, and he's all by himself, and he's taking a selfie. And we're staring at him as he slowly falls to his knees, and he holds his face in his hands, and he's weeping. And we know that he's crying because we can see him wiping tears away. And the four of us are just looking at him across the road up this little hill. And one of the homies says, I got chills right now. And another homie says, damn, I'm crying. And pretty soon all four of us were crying. And I said, what's your best guess? And one of the homies says, it's his mom's grave. And the other one said, yeah, it's his jefita. And we just stood there, and we were all wrapped in this cloak of unity that connected us with each other and the stranger on the hill. And the poet is right, we have lived our whole lives so that we could see this union and connection and kinship and a community of cherished belonging. And that's why this place is so important, because the world wants to draw lines. But our hope is that we will erase them.